Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirits. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another action-packed show this week. As in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing the topic of the visitation. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So let's crack on. We're going to be discussing, as I say, the visitation. So what am I talking about when I say that? I'm referring to, first of all, to remind you that you are never alone. So even on a physical level, you may feel like you are on your own and you're making your own decisions and being very free and easy, but in actual fact, you are never alone. There is always your spirit guides around you, the angelic beings. There's always your ancestors, your friends, your family, your loved ones. They're all around you. And this may sound a little bit spooky, a little bit far out to some of you that are hearing this for the first time. But I thought I would address this in this segment because we are all vibration, we are all energy, we are all frequency, whether we're in the physical sense or the non-physical sense. So when we make that transition into the world of spirit and continue on our journey there, we're merely changing form. And I like to use the analogy of in terms of music. And so originally you had the cassette tape, then you had the vinyl, then you had CD, then you got MP3, and now you got streaming. Well, with all of those formats, you can hear the same content. You can hear the same frequencies. Or the only difference is that they've changed format so that you can have that experience. And this is what spirit do. They change their format, but they continue to exist and continue to be the original characteristics that you knew them to be. So the reason why I bring this up is, like I say, you are never alone. And there's this beautiful connection that you have with your spirit guides, your family, your friends, your loved ones. And that continues to flow even after they have made their transition or moved in a different frequency. And how they do this is because your heart is a vortex. Your heart has a vibrational signature that is unique to you. And it's this vortex within your heart that connects you to your loved ones and ancestors. And so this is how they can come through. And it doesn't matter where you happen to be in the world or what you're doing, they're always connected by that unique frequency that you emit, again, from the heart vortex space there. So also your light, the frequency within your heart connects to your ancestors, and it creates this unseen magnetic electronic frequency bond, whichever term you wish to use, that brings their light in, brings their communications in. And it's fascinating that this is happening around us all the time without us actually realizing it, without us actually having any effort, putting any effort in. This is continually happening around us. And it's only when we take that time to just observe that we can start and notice things, these little bits of evidential information, these signs from our ancestors, our loved ones, our spirit guides that are letting us know that they are around us. And one of the things that they can use to establish a connection with us, to let us know that they are around us, is by connecting in with our thought vibration. And what they can do is they can influence, they can't make us do things. So don't panic. Don't worry, everybody, because we have that choice of free will, and only we can make that decision. But what spirits can do is they can put the thought, the inspiration in our minds, and then it is down to us whether we choose to follow that or ignore it or put it to one side. So like I say, they can connect in with us via thought vibration. And I'm sure many of you that are listening have had this encounter many, many times before, where you're going throughout your daily duties and then all of a sudden an idea pops in your head out of nowhere. You have no knowledge of that idea. You have never thought about that ever before in your life. And then all of a sudden it just pops in your head out of the blue there. So what I would say it is either your spirit guides or your spirit team, your family or friends in the world of spirit, again, making their vibration known to you on a subtle way and also helping you, guiding you along your pathway. Because this is a beautiful exchange. And what sometimes they will do is they will utilize your memory bank, so to speak. And what I mean by that is like situations in your life that you've gone through, maybe beautiful memories that you've had with either your family in the world of spirit. And again, that's in your storage system, your memory bank there. It's not a thought that you would consciously have on a daily basis, but it's there in your soul path, in the back of your mind there. You don't give it much time or attention. Or sometimes when we get these thoughts that just pop in our head out of the blue, maybe we all of a sudden we start thinking about a situation from about 20 odd years ago that we've completely forgotten about. And yet all of a sudden it's been recalled in the mind. We can remember all of the details. We can even relate to certain smells and sounds and music in that timeline that we experience. I would say that a lot of this potentially is the spirit being connecting in with our library and bringing forward all of these memories to the surface, again, to share maybe a wonderful time that we had with that individual whilst they were in their physical body, and they're bringing that to the forefront of our mind in order to let us know that they are still around, very much around. We are in their thoughts, we are in their vibration, and maybe the thought that they're playing out, that memory that they're playing out, they've brought that from your catalogue of your mind to maybe uplift your vibration, to give you that healing, to place you in a time where you were happy, where you were joyful, and also, like I say, to remember that individual that has made their transition. So spirit will use that, and it's a beautiful thing when it does happen and you're aware that it's not you choosing that thought. Just, I would say, don't be frightened of it. Just allow that thought to replay out a bit like a film, and enjoy all the experience. It may last for 30 seconds. It could be a minute. It could be as long as you want, really, but that will replay in your mind. And so just enjoy it. And maybe afterwards, just unpick the symbolism or the key features within that situation in your life, that memory that's playing out. Because I would say that by doing that, by observing it in that fashion, there will be a message within that that's trying to be conveyed to you. So when you're paying attention on that level, it's quite fascinating how spirit can work and bring that information and that healing to you just by placing that thought in your mind, or maybe pulling it from your, like I say, your memory bank into the forefront of your mind. So it's beautiful. So do watch out for that. Something that I'm sure everybody that's listening to this has experienced many times throughout the course of their life. And this is, again, with your mind, where you've had a repetitive song from the moment you woke up in the morning right until you go to bed. That song has been on repeat in your mind all day. And it could be the fact that you're just hearing the chorus of that song, not the full song in your mind. and you're hearing the words, you're hearing the melodies, you're hearing the tunes, and you can't seem to shake it out of your mind. I would certainly say that this is a message for you. This is coming in from spirit. This is either from your loved ones, your friends, or even your spirit guides, potentially. And the reason for this is because they're wanting to grab your attention. There's a lot of information in that song that's running around your head. So let's talk about this. First of all, I would certainly recommend that you research the lyrics of that song and read through it. And read through it as if you're reading a message, a letter. And what you will find, there will be key words within the lyrics of that song that will stick out to you. These key words will be a direct message for you, information from the world of spirit that they want you to know and they want you to understand. Again, cementing that idea that you are never alone. They're always around you, always offering their help and guidance. So with this being said, you owe it to them and you owe it to yourself to go and do this research the lyrics of the song. What I would also recommend is, if you can listen to that song, go and research it. You'll find it online, I'm sure, if you have not got that song in your music collection at home. Go and listen to it. The reason why I say that, as we all know, music is a combination of different frequencies, different harmonies, and energy. Let's get to the core of it. It contains energy. So on some level, the song that's been playing in your mind throughout the course of that day would also be gifted to you, because there are healing frequencies, vibrations within that song that you need to experience in that moment, the point where you are receiving that information in your mind. Potentially, maybe you need your vibration to be heightened. Maybe you've been going through a rough time, and the frequency and the energy within that song are the specific ingredients that your loved ones in spirit have found that they know will help you and also deliver a message to you as well, again with the lyrics. So check them out. And what you will find when you've done that research, when you've listened to that song will no longer be in your mind anymore, because you've received the message, you've received the healing. And so just pay attention. The next time that this happens, you'll be amazed with the results. There'll be quite a lot of eureka moments, to the point where you'll be like, oh, wow, that's why I'm hearing it. That makes so much sense. I'm going through something like that right now. And actually, that song also may potentially bring back a memory that you have with the loved one that is sending you that song in your mind. You know, it may be their song. It may be their favorite song. It may be your joint favorite song, something that you experienced together. So there will be that evidence in that respect as well. So do look out for that. It's very important that you do the research, particularly, if you've been hearing that song all day, and you'll notice that it will leave your head as soon as you've done it. Also, we've said this many times before, but no truer statement has been said. When your loved ones come forward, they will use the path of least resistance in order to interact with you, in order to communicate with you. And what I mean by that is, for example, they will find a bit like water trickling down a mountain. And now it always goes to the bottom, doesn't it? And it finds the easiest route to get to the bottom, the quickest route that doesn't take too much energy, too much effort. So this is a similar principle with spirit. What they will do is they will link into your vibration and they will pursue all these different avenues. So, for example, if you're very good at receiving thoughts in your mind, like we've previously been speaking about, they're going to first of all go to that. That will be their first port of call. If you're a very emotional person, very highly sensitive person, then obviously they're going to communicate through your emotions. And so pay attention to that. It could be smells. You may be very sensitive to smells or tastes or even temperature changes, or even the sense of touch around you. Again, they will use the easiest route in order to communicate with you. So don't be alarmed. Don't be frightened if you have any experiences other than your mind or your hearing or something like that, because this will be spirit trying to communicate with you. Don't be alarmed. They don't want to cause you any harm. They're merely trying to connect with you and let you know of their presence. So don't let this worry you in any way, shape, or form. All I would say is just observe what's happening, maybe take some notes, and then assess those notes later to make sense of why you were having those experiences. So don't resist. Don't resist what's occurring. So let's move into emotions. So like we were saying, spirit may use your emotions. You may be highly sensitive to tell a story to you. So, I've said this many times before. I teach my students the benefit of the baseline check. And this is where you observe where you're at in your present moment emotionally, how your physical body feels, and what thoughts are passing through your mind. And the reason for this is that will be your baseline. So anything other than those thoughts, those emotions, those feelings, those sensations, this will be spirit conveying a message to you, or at least energy conveying a message to you. So it's good to have that baseline check in order before you can really truly assess the emotions, the change, what's happening. Because what spirit will do is they will use your emotions to tell their story, to convey their message to you. So when you're aware of this, again, always take a mental note, or maybe write it down, or even store these notes in your electronic device to inspect later using your rational mind, your logical mind, where you're not in that state of connecting directly with spirit. You're just observing the facts and unpicking them with non-attachment. And what you will find, you'll find a story unfolding. You may feel certain emotions or sensations around a particular time of day. And that time of day, for example, could be when a loved one passed over, made their transition, or it's a prominent date on the diary or in the calendar there when you're feeling these emotions. So that is spirit, again, communicating with you on some level. So do pay attention. Like we said earlier, smell, taste, things of that nature there. Spirit can use your sense of smell and taste, again, to convey a message to you. So do be aware of that, experiencing, tasting, I fancy this, and you can taste, I don't know, whatever food or whatever in that moment. Potentially, maybe this could be a memory that's shared with you from a loved one, from spirit. If you can taste, for example, some particular cakes or something like that maybe your mum, your grandmother, your auntie used to cook when they were alive, and there was a treasured memory attached to them cooking, or, maybe there was a comical moment with that. And all of a sudden, you haven't ate that food, tasted it for years. All of a sudden, you can taste it in your palate, in your mouth, as if you've just eaten it. Well, this potentially would be them letting you know that they are around you. They hold you in their thoughts dearly, and they're bringing this beautiful experience that you shared together just to let you know that actually they are around. So it's marvelous. Also with smells as well, you may encounter smelling a particular aftershave or deodorant or perfume or something like that, or even cigarette smoke, a particular brand of cigarette smoke that they don't even manufacture anymore. Potentially this could be a loved one, a friend or family in the world of spirit, letting you know that they're around. And they're using that path of least resistance, not to scare you, not to frighten you, but just to let you know of their presence, that they are around you. So it's good to observe, not to judge. And then what you will find is you'll get a eureka moment, probably, a few hours later after having this encounter, where the penny drops and you think, hang on a minute, I know that smell now. My uncle used to smoke a pipe and he had that sort of smell. And then you get that connection with your uncle, that link with your uncle. Upon making that eureka moment, that connection, what you may find is you get memories or inspiration coming into your mind because that connection has been made, that link has been made a little bit stronger with them. And so they're going to take that opportunity to convey their message to you. So it's a beautiful experience when you observe what is happening in and around you. Also, many of you may have encountered this. Electronic devices may be malfunctioning, maybe glitching on music or CDs or even the TV when you've got it on. Maybe it's creating a static charge over the TV or the DVD or whatever show you're watching, streaming, pauses and it can't seem to go any further. Potentially, I'd like you to rule out all the obvious things, that the electric's fine, you don't have any faulty equipment or anything like that. Always do the obvious checks. But then I would certainly recommend you to be open to the fact that potentially this could be a loved one, spirit guide, that again is wanting your attention, and they're doing this through manipulating the vibration, the energy within those electronic devices, again, to let you know that they are around and they're wanting to let you know that, not to freak you out or scare you, but just to bring you that support, that love, that healing that you may need at that moment in time. You may also notice lights flickering as well when there's no issue with either the fuse or the bulbs or anything like that. I used to have some of those touch lights. I don't know if you remember those, where in order to turn it on or dim it, you had to press or tap on the side of the body of that lamp. And I had an issue continually when I was talking about somebody or something or remembering a loved one from spirit, and the light was on the other side of the room and it would always flicker and flash. And I was always checking to see if the bulb was going, if there was a fuse issue or anything like that. And that was never the case. That was spirit manipulating that light in order to let me know that there was around. So maybe you've experienced that. So do pay attention. What you might find as well, this is, I would say it's a combination of your loved ones, but also the universal energy at play. When you're talking or maybe going through a situation in your life and you put the TV on, and at that moment when you put the TV on or you're watching something, they're saying on the TV show the exact same thing that you were thinking in your mind or that situation that you're going through in your life. If you've had that experience, again, this is a bit of evidence for you to let you know that not only is the universe have your back, but also your friends and family in the world of spirit are again communicating to you through the path of least resistance. And if you're, live a very busy life where you're not fully aware of your sensitivity, the thoughts, the smells, the tastes, and the emotions, then spirit are going to try their best to communicate to you through other means, because they do have the capability of changing frequency and energy in electronic devices. So they will do their best to communicate with you. So do pay attention. And that can happen when you're driving in your car and you've got the radio on or a song on, and all of a sudden there's words or information that leaps out to you that you were just thinking about, or there's a connection there to what they're talking about with a loved one. So they will try their utmost to communicate with you because, after all, as we've been saying throughout the show today, they are continually around you. Also, I'd like you to pay attention, and I've said this many times, but I can't stress it enough, and this is angel numbers. So when you're out and about through your daily life, you may spot a series of numbers. Now, most people just carry on and ignore them and don't see anything in that. But I would certainly recommend that you take a note of the numbers that you've seen and then go and research it online by typing in the angel number meaning for and then place your number. And you will be amazed of what the message in that number, what it denotes to you, and how much it aligns with you. Again, this is spirit bringing, using that path of least resistance to bring a communication, a message to you. So do pay attention to that. Another one would be obviously direct words that seem to be popping up throughout the course of your day. Pay attention, write them down. There'll be a message in that as well. Animal totem, if you're aware of those. And what I mean by that, it's ancient American Indian philosophy. What they used to do is they used to observe the animals, their characteristics, their traits, and the way that they behave, their lifestyle, in order to see a message in that, by seeing an animal show up in your life, whether it's in the physical sense or maybe it's denoted by a pictorial picture or something of that nature, then they would see that as a message, as a healing, animal totem healing or wisdom. So again, like the angel numbers, you can go and research what you've seen by typing in the animal totem meaning for and then the animal that you've seen. And again, you'll be surprised about the wisdom, the information that comes through from that little message by seeing that. Again, this is another way of you receiving healing, the medicine of that animal, maybe strength, maybe courage that you need in that moment of your life, or even the direct message, the words that you need to hear. And again, this is another way that Spirit will take that path of least resistance to bring that connection and communication with you. So do pay attention. Many of you are lucky enough to, I say lucky enough because it takes a lot of energy from Spirit to do this, to experience moving objects in your home or workplace or wherever you happen to be. The classic one is where something that you use on a daily basis, like house keys or something like that, and you keep it in a particular place all the time. It's part of your habitual habits, shall we say, where, for example, you leave your house keys and there's nobody in the home other than you, and those keys happen to go missing. Well, obviously do the checks, the idiot checks. Did I leave it in the car? Did I put it in that coat pocket or whatever? Before you come to the conclusion, it could be Spirit that are doing it. But I would say don't close that part of your mind off. Always have an open mind, because Spirit can bring, shall we say, bring objects in and remove them out of our frequency in order to let us know of their presence. And usually when you find these objects, they're in the most ridiculous places that you would never even dream of leaving them. And this is quite phenomenal, particularly when you live on your own and you know for full fact that nobody's been in the house, nobody's had access to, say, for example, your keys, and they're in a cupboard where you keep the cups, and you would never put them there. But they always show up on time. Potentially, I want to say to you, just pay attention, as this is another way of Spirit can let you know that they are around. Maybe they're stopping you from leaving the house at a certain time of day by moving your keys so that it delays you. So eventually, it delays you and maybe you've avoided an accident or something like that. Just throwing it out there, just as an idea there. So they have got your back, and, they can potentially do these things that we're talking about. We've mentioned earlier about memories playing out in your mind and feeling the energy of the loved one connected to that memory. As you're experiencing that memory in your mind, you may feel their energy, their vibration. You may get a sense of their smell, their fragrance whilst you're thinking those thoughts. It's a beautiful experience, and I'm sure most of you at some part of your life will have encountered or experienced this on some level. I would say another thing I'd like to convey to you is to use your mind to communicate with your loved ones. When you're thinking about them, when you're missing them, have a virtual conversation with them in your mind and just let that go. Let that go. It will be heard and it will be answered, but it will be answered in ways maybe that you're not used to, like we say, the path of least resistance. So once you've asked that question or made that communication with them, just observe all of your faculties and your environment, because there will be a message coming back to you in response to your communication. I'd also encourage you to speak out loud to them. Have a conversation with them. They do hear you, and they do listen to you. So they don't always connect with you directly through voice. They'll use, like I say, the path of least resistance. But also, if you're wanting help from them, ask them for help. They will help you. They certainly will help you if you're wanting that. A little example is, many years ago, I had some help from my dad. I mean, he passed away on the same year. So he made his transition about 10 years ago now. And this was the same year. not long after his passing, I was invited to join a band and to play live. And I play drums, for those of you that don't know, and sing as well. And I needed a drum carpet in order to stop my drums maybe scratching the floor at venues or, sliding about. And so I was racking my brains. And then all of a sudden, I remembered that my dad had gave me a carpet that I'd just put to one side and done nothing with. So I got the carpet out. The next minute, I got the link with my dad. My dad was communicating with me and he was telling me, go in the toolbox that I gave you and get this knife. And you want this size and use that knife and you can cut that. And so my dad was communicating with me, bringing all of that information forward to help me on this new venture. And he even told me what to do with the offcuts of that carpet, which was quite comical because the carpet didn't match any coloration anywhere in the house. It was like salmon pink, and the carpets in my house are a shade of green. So it didn't match. But to me, that was the ultimate evidence that was my dad communicating with me, because his way was, he was very functional. He didn't do colours or what matched, what didn't match. If it worked, it worked. And so for me, that was ultimate evidence. So I hope this little conversation has helped you maybe understand that you're never alone and you're always visited by your loved ones, friends and family. So pay attention, observe, and just be open to it. Well, now we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications through. As you know, I say it often enough, this is the part that I really enjoy in the show because I have no idea what's going to come forward, and it's always a surprise and very healing in basking in that energy. But before we move in, I just would like to throw this out there to you all and see how you've been over the past week. I don't know about anybody else, but I've certainly noticed opportunities and new things entering my timeline in my life, albeit very subtle. It is giving me that element of hope, and I can see that life is unfolding in a way that I didn't necessarily perceive at the time. So I've been noticing these subtle changes. I do feel the energy ramping up, and they are building up, and it's going to take time for these opportunities to flourish and come in, but I can feel them. Whereas at one time I wasn't able to do that. So something shifted in the timeline. Some energies shifted there. So just hold that faith for everybody. Trust, and when you get that hit and you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your soul, and you can observe certain signs and people coming to you, gravitating towards you, then just embrace that. The best is yet to come, as they say. Anyway, we're going to move on to this week's channeling from spirit, so sit back, relax, enjoy, and take notes if you need to, and enjoy this week's channeling.
Many of you will be finding that this year of 2024 has been one of a challenge for most of you. A lot of things have come to the surface, such as your own inner personal development, your insecurities, your desires, and the contrast between what you do not want to experience to what you do want to experience have been very prevalent this year, to the point where you have not been able to avoid these changes coming into your life. A lot of you have gone through many twists and turns already in the year of 2024, and we say these challenges are here, have been here to serve you, so that you can walk into a higher timeline and experience life as it was intended for you. What you will be finding is a lot of you will be shying away from society in a way that you do not wish to align with the vibrations of others and their timelines. This is not an arrogant statement. This is not a rebellious thing to do. In fact, you're simply coming into alignment with your vibration on a deeper level. Don't worry or judge the other people in your society, as they too will go through a similar process, all in good time. The fact that you have elected to be a way shower in the new vibration, that's all the difference. They will follow. They will catch up in the end. So do not judge them or cast a finger towards them in that respect. This year also is going to help you align with your infinite possibilities of your highest timeline. Now, for most of you, it will be financial, it will be with your career, advancements with the career. Also, family will also be brought together, whether this is by conflict or whether this is by pure love. You will find that the family unit will be stronger as a result of going through this year. Now, the reason why we mention all of these things is there's a lot of you listening to this that are at the end of your tether, so to speak, with having to be bombarded with all of these shifts and energy changes and all these insecurities, the vibration of love and the vibration of fear and the vibration of lack of hope, and then holding on to that faith and understanding that everything is coming into alignment. We want to bring this information to you to give you that thumbs up of approval and the hope that you've been wanting to hear and waiting for. We're here to assure you that all of these things are for your highest good and they serve you on your highest timeline. But you see, although from a surface level they may appear, some of these experiences you've had this year, as very low vibrational, very heavy in the vibration. In fact, they're not at all. They're actually to help you catapult you into a new higher vibrational sense of being. Now, this new vibrational sense of being is where you move into flow state energy, where you think it, you feel it, you hold that vibration so dear to your heart, and it manifests in your reality. So that is the purpose of you going through all these changes, to get you to this point of a higher being where you can manifest at a faster, more productive rate. We also want to mention to you, a lot of you will be experiencing changes with the food that you consume. A lot of foods, as you already know, have been tampered with by man, and additives, preservatives, and other substances have been included into the foods that you consume. With this being the case, your body is a sensitive instrument, and it is picking up on those additives that your body, your carrier for your vessel, the vessel for your soul does not need. It's simply rejecting them. So if you do go through periods of time of feeling out of balance, feeling sick, and with digestive issues, we say this is because your body is now becoming more high vibrational and it's rejecting some of those substances. So even though at one time you would have enjoyed those foods, what you will be finding predominantly through this year is you'll be scrubbing those foods off of your weekly shopping list because they no longer align with you. Your mind may be enjoying the experience of having them, but your body is not at all. It is simply rejecting them. Also, we want to remind you that you are an instrument of light, an instrument of energy and spirit. You are a transmitter, a receiver, and an acceptor of energy. And with this being said, a lot of you are going to experience otherworldly activities in your dimension. And what we mean by that is you're more open and aware of there is a vast collective of beings, of realms, all existing in your dimension at the same time. We understand that's a lot for you to get your head around, but for example, we'll give you this. Where you live in your home, yes, you have an experience of your home, but in actual fact, there's multiple dimensions all existing in the same space where your home is located. And now and again, you will see different dimensions. You'll slip from one to the other, and you'll catch a glimpse of maybe other beings, other energies, colors, sounds, beings from other dimensions walking through your home, and you'll see these in shadow form or light anomalies of that nature. We're here to tell you this is because of the shift in your vibration. You're able to tap in and observe these frequencies and experience them on a higher level than you ever could before. We do not wish to alarm you by sharing this information with you, because you must understand that none of these experiences are here to harm you or pull you off your path or put you in the vibration of fear. In actual fact, it's just you being more aligned and aware of what is happening in your sacred space. And your sacred space can be anywhere you choose to spend your time. So, for example, if you're wanting to spend time in your home, that is your sacred space. Wherever you take your heart and your highest vibrations, that is your sacred space. So just be aware and pay attention. We also want to remind you all that you are never alone, and that you can call out and ask for help from your spirit guides, your angels, your family, your friends, and your loved ones in the world of spirit. We are continuously connected to you, and we're merely a thought away. So simply ask, and don't feel that you're protruding or being a nuisance by asking questions. If you're wanting help, ask for help, and it shall be given to you. Not necessarily in your earthbound ways of receiving help, but it will come. You will notice signs from the universe. You will see feathers. You will see numbers. You will hear names being called. Positive. You'll feel love vibration, a magnetic pull pulling you to your destiny on your life path. So we want you to know not to worry, as everything is coming into alignment for you. We just wanted to tell you today that those of you, most of you, that have been experiencing these vibrational changes of peaks and troughs, highs and lows, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, that all of these are sent to serve you, so that you can align and skip and move into a higher timeline of ease and grace and flow. So thank you so much for taking the opportunity in listening to this transmission today. We all really appreciate it, and we send you our utmost love and respect and healing during these times. In a moment, I'm going to pass you quickly over to another communicator who is wishing to come through and speak further with you. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I hope you don't mind me popping in. It's been such a long time since I come to say hello. So I just thought I'd pop in and tell you that I haven't disappeared anywhere. I'm always around. I'm always tab hanging. I'm always listening, and I'm always watching as well. In fact, the vessel who's allowing me to come forward has seen me many times in his home over these last few months, and he's caught me playing I Spy with him, and he said hello, 'cause he knew it was me. But I didn't mean him any harm. I just been working on my frequencies so that he can see me a bit better now, and I'm not scared either when he can see me. At one time I was a bit frightened, 'cause he's quite a big master, bit frightened that he might come and chase me round and get me. But obviously, yeah, I know he can't. I know he won't hurt me. He's a lovely man, and he's full of love, and that's why a lot of us come to see him, because he's such a lovely person. And those of you that haven't had the experience of him before, you're missing out, 'cause he really is a true authentic gentleman. But anyway, we don't want to put another feather in his cap by saying these words. We're being honest with you. We just thought we'd say this. But what we want to tell you is to have faith, trust, and to ask for help when you need it, because you never ever are alone. It's only you that place yourself in that state of mind, in that vibration that you're alone. And in actual fact, you're not. All you have to do is ask and then remove that little block that you put in front of yourself and trust. And you'll get the results that if not, in fact, you'll get better results than you ever could imagine in your human mind. All by asking, all by trusting and allowing us to come in and help you. So that's my message today. So thank you. I'm going now. Bye.
Wow, what another fantastic communication there from Spirit. I really enjoyed that. Nice to hear that they acknowledge the struggles and the twists and the turns that most of us have gone through this year. And it's nice to have that encouragement that why we have been going through it, these circumstances, although we don't always realize it whilst they're happening, are actually to serve our highest good. And when we step out of the box and see the bigger picture, then and only then can we perceive it in that way there. Nice to also understand why some of us have been feeling slightly reclusive this year. And on some level, we needed to find ourselves. We needed to tackle what we've been carrying around energetically, emotionally there. And so it's enabled us to find out who we are, and it's allowed us to shed those skins in order to move into a different version of ourselves, a more positive, more rounded version of ourselves, so that we can serve humanity on a different level, as well as thriving in our own timeline and a new timeline as well by doing that. But very encouraging, as I'm sure you'll agree, to know that we have positive changes coming in. And the fact that the message is a message of hope in their transmission today. And let's face it, we all need to hear that. We all need that hope, don't we? We need something to hold on to, something to aim for. And obviously hearing this message today, it certainly filled my heart with love and healing, and I hope it has done for you as well. Nice to also hear that help and guidance is coming in, and we'll know that it's on its way because we'll all start seeing signs from the universe in either forms of songs on the radio, maybe feathers falling at our feet from out of nowhere randomly. So to pay attention and look out for them. And obviously at the end of that, it was lovely as always to hear little Tom coming in, and he really did sell me, didn't he? Bless him, with those wonderful compliments from him. So I feel very touched and emotional in hearing that they have that perception of me, which is lovely. And nice to hear that we are never alone. Anyway, we're going to move on to this week's energy forecast reading. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's reading. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice, and I'm a spiritual medium. And welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 19th of August, 2024. Now, those of you that have watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot cards. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. So here is your card for this week. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. First of all, my guides are making it very clear and strong that this week is going to be a very substantial and rewarding week. It's going to see you moving into new timelines within your life, and also stop questioning yourself is what I keep hearing. And what I do feel this week will see you feeling on an energetic level and in your physical body, this element of tension, that tightening feeling in your muscles, in your arms, in your legs there. This feeling of fatigue. And what I'm also experiencing is like a pulsation around the third eye area, just here. Almost feels like a headache is on the way to building up. I feel what's happening with all of these elements that we're describing here today is it's all about all of these old energies, these vibrations, the last push to let them go. And there's this, I would say, this reluctance to let that energy go. And this is what's causing that those aches and pains and that tension feeling in the physical body there as well. So be aware of that. This week will also see you actually standing steadfast and strong in your belief systems. and people will question your authenticity. So you are being invited to actually hold your ground, stay strong, and speak your truth, even if it doesn't align with the population around you, shall we say. You're here to do a specific role and a specific purpose. And it's now time this week for you to trust in that energy, in that inspiration, in those influencing pieces of information that are coming through you this week. You will be tested and you will be tried with all of elements of your life this week. What I mean by this is I feel as though things are crumbling in your life, such as personal relationships. I want to also say in terms of work and career, you'll be questioning your motives, and you'll be questioning the link to what you're doing within your work and career. Is it sitting right with you? You'll find yourself asking a lot of these questions that maybe you have been considering for some time, but you've just pushed down and put them in the back burner, so to speak. This week we'll see you actually facing them and doing something about it by feeling into the energy of your present moment consciousness. Also, I feel as though it will see you questioning your social circles and your friendships. Are they validated anymore? Do you align with these individuals anymore? Is there some of these connections that are holding you back, making you feel small or restricted in some way? Either way, it will see you actually questioning. And this can be quite overwhelming, particularly when all of these elements are happening all at the same time. However, once you get calm and relaxed and allow yourself to blend with these new changes coming in and just go with the flow, take that urge to control and remove that element of resistance out of your vibration, which you can do by connecting in with your breath, being present, being aware of what's happening right under your nose, then this is where you can do something about it, just by holding your vibration in your present moment consciousness and not judging anybody. This is the way that these things are going to change, because when you relax into life, life will flow and work in your favor. So this week is a very particularly strong and influential one that's going to see you moving now towards another new highest timeline. There will be obviously some toing and froing in this transition phase. However, you are going to be guided and inspired every step of the way. So let's turn the card over, see what the card has to say for you. At the top of the card, it says 2 of Ariel. So I'd like you to research the angel number 2, as I feel that is very prominent, the information within that for you. Also, I'm being told 2, obviously they're saying 2, but 2 to me represents 2 facets within you as a person. So maybe some of those old belief systems, those hurts, those old emotions, and yet there's this splitting, moving into a higher timeline. So in order to do that, you have to release that weight and that energy that you've been carrying around. Also, Ariel, whichever way you want to pronounce it, to me, I'm going to feel into the vibration of that. What I feel is a little bit of discomfort around the stomach area there, the solar plexus. So I feel as though this is inspiration coming into you. Also, it's you releasing some of those old energies. I do feel as though this transition phase will have an impact on your diet, the food that you can consume and hold down, for example. So my guides are saying that you will be consuming more lighter, more lifelike type of food, such as vegetation, like a vegan almost diet, that sort of light sort of diet that allows that energy to be extracted to you, and it's not going to weigh you down, so to speak. So let's read at the bottom of the card. It reads, it's important to have balance, working multiple jobs or projects at once, making work fun. Well, that's we was talking about work earlier, that you're going to reassess where you're at in your life with your work, with your finances, also with your friendship circles and your personal relationships there. So this is saying basically that it's all about you taking your power back and seeing things from a new perspective. So if it's a win-win-win-win scenario, then that is the right course of action for you to take. However, if it is unbalanced and it's like more favored towards somebody else or yourself, then there's something not right there, and you need to delve a little bit deeper into those circumstances and situations until you find that balancing point there, so everybody wins in the situation. Also, I feel it, what it's saying there at the bottom, making it more fun. So again, this is like not resisting change. It's connecting in with the high vibrations within work, within friendships, within personal circumstances, and flipping the script rather than feeling into the things that you don't want to experience and you don't want to go through. Focusing on the high points, and you'll know that this will help you in traversing into your highest timeline. Looking into the artwork of the card, as you can see around the edge, we've got the colour of pink. That is talking about sensitivity, I feel, and it's telling you to trust your sensitivity, your inspiration, your hunches, your instinct throughout the course of this week. Yes, you will be triggered, you will have your buttons pressed, so to speak, but you are to trust your gut instinct. Also, it's talking about the divine feminine, and we all have an aspect of that. We all have masculine and feminine energies within us, but it's telling you to make that balance with the feminine energy. Allow yourself to receive, allow yourself to go with the flow and trust those instincts this week. Looking at the artwork of the card, we have this masculine energy that is actually balancing on one hand and on the edge there. So this is talking about the shift, I feel. The masculine energy wants to control, wants to take charge, have that leadership role. But the fact that it's upside down is telling you to change your perspective, look at things differently. But also, like we were saying earlier, everything has to have a win-win-win case scenario for it to flow. And if it hasn't, then you will notice these roadblocks coming into your life and these irritations coming up there. The fact that he's on the edge, that's talking about you don't know which way to turn. So there's this element of trust coming in to your life this week, where you are going to have to go with a wing and a prayer, because an old chapter is coming to the end in your life and you're moving into new territory. And as you know, when we move into new territory, it feels a little bit overwhelming. So take your time, show that level of love and peace within yourself. You are going to be guided by the angelic realm and your spirit guides there as well. So I hope that resonates with you. That is this week's forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this reading and would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link either above or below this reading, which is a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do. If you're wanting to book with me with any of my spiritual services, you can head over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can find me on Facebook and book in with me then, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Join me every Monday with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fabulous week, everybody. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're all set for a bit of an unusual week this week. Nevertheless, you know, that element of letting go and allowing and just know that the universe has our back, that's always encouraging, isn't it? In fact, this week's show seems predominantly from the messages from Spirit is about transformation and embracing it and, you know, just being gentle with ourselves as we're making our transition from one vibrational alignment into the next. So I hope this show has helped you in some way, shape or form, and that you've aligned with the information that, again, is either channeled from Spirit or inspired from Spirit. If you have any questions you'd like to ask the show or any topics you'd like me to talk about, then please do contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com or at glennboddice@live.co.uk. It would be fantastic to hear from you and also to help you with any curious questions that you may have. Anyway, I want to wish you a wonderful week ahead, whatever it happens to be that you're doing. Be gentle, be calm, be relaxed, and stay present and grounded in your present moment reality. You can join me the same place at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time at www.pulsetalkradio.com with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, again talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help. Have a marvellous week, everybody. God bless and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium